Calgary Police Service has charged a man in connection with a historical sexual assault on a teenage girl. In September 2007, it is alleged that the suspect, who is a City of Calgary bus driver, befriended a 14-year-old passenger who regularly used the same route. After a period of weeks, the man, who was 53 at the time, managed to get her on her own on the bus and sexually assaulted her. The teenage girl encountered the suspect again in March 2008 when she took another bus route. It is alleged the inappropriate sexual contact began again and continued to June 2008 when the now 15-year-old girl attended his home and was sexually assaulted. The victim reported the offences in November 2014, and on Thursday, February 12, 2015, the suspect was arrested without incident. Desmarais Paul Rene, 61, from Calgary, has been charged with sexual assault, sexual interference with a child under 16, and sexual contact with a youth by a person in authority. Police are keen to speak with anyone who witnessed the offence or anyone who has information relating to it. To assist with this process, police are issuing a photo of Desmarais, which can be found on the City of Calgary News website. Desmarais is described as Caucasian, 5'9", tall, 175 pounds, with a medium build, blue eyes, and black hair. Anyone who has information relating to this case is asked to contact the Calgary Police Service.
So is the theory here, though, that you believe there's other victims?
We don't know if there's other victims. We're putting it out to the public for anyone that may have witnessed an event or have information to come forward to us.
What can you say about the delay in the reporting of this?
Delay in the reporting. A lot of times when victims come forward with sexual assault, they need times to deal with the trauma, to figure out when they're ready. We need to respect that.
So can you say, was this alleged that this was almost like a relationship that they built? Or was like, did he force himself on her? Like, I know it's not consensual no matter what.
That's a good question. It was grooming that took place.
Sorry, can you just kind of expand on that a little?
So grooming, in a typical grooming situation, not saying that happened in this case, but in grooming, the person that's grooming will form a relationship with an individual. They'll maybe give them gifts, form a relationship, build trust, and then move forward from that point.
Okay, so that was the case in this?
There was grooming involved, yes, absolutely.
So given that there was a delay, are there any kind of challenges proceeding forward in the investigation? And if so, what, given that this happened 7, 8 years ago?
Historical investigations are always more difficult. That being said, they are solvable, and we encourage anyone with a historical sexual assault to come forward to the Calgary Police Service and let us investigate it.
Why the delay in telling the media about this? He had a bail hearing last Friday that many of us would have liked to have been at. So why not tell us about it until now?
There was a delay. We're working with our partners as well. We have to keep people informed as well as the public. So that's what caused the delay.
Is he still working for transit?
You'll have to talk to the employer about that. I'm not allowed to comment on that.
Do you think that there may be other, like, you form other relationships with potential riders? Do you believe that maybe?
We don't know if there's other victims out there. Right now we're asking anyone who may have seen this happening on the bus or seen the grooming behavior take place, or that may be a victim themselves of any sexual assault, to come forward to us.
Is this considered a position of trust given he was the bus driver?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Can you maybe expand on that a little bit? Is this fairly unique that a bus driver would be in? Have you ever laid this charge in relation to somebody like a bus driver?
I've been in sex crimes for about a year now, and I haven't seen this come across my desk with bus drivers in the past year. So no, I don't think it's very common.
So,
Can you comment on how the girl's doing?
She's doing as well as can be expected. Obviously, any type of sexual assault is a traumatic event, but for what she's been through, she's doing well.
And how old is the victim now?
She's in her early 20s now.
Does she have some family support?
She has family support, absolutely.
can you comment on where the incidents took place?
It happened in the City of Calgary. I can't tell you exactly because it happened on multiple bus routes within the city.
Maybe just general area of what happened?
I can't even give you that. It was multiple routes. He moved to different routes, and they happened all over the city.
Are you talking about sexual intercourse when you say sex assault?
It met the criteria for sexual assault. I can't get into exactly what happened, as that's part of our charges for the investigation.
Is there any concern for the public going forward about, like, what would the message be to the public about, I guess, protecting yourself or a young person on a bus? Usually you feel safe on the bus, but it sounds like it may not always be the case.
You know what, protecting your kids, one of the keys is open communication. If you talk to your kids and you talk to them every day and you see a change in their behavior, that's the time you want to re-engage with your kids, find out what's going on, have their trust that they can communicate with you what's going on.
Sometimes when people hear that there was a relationship built, they'll just kind of brush that off. Can you talk about age of consent and just how that plays into this charge?
Even if she did consent, which I'm not saying she did in this case, but in general charges, if she did consent, she's still under the age of consent. Even if she agreed, it doesn't matter.
What is the age of consent?
It changes depending on the year. So you have to go back through the criminal code. It changed a few years ago from 14 to 16.
At the time of this, it was 16? No.
I'll have to get you the details on that, but I can get you the details of when it changed and the ages as well.
But the age of consent wouldn't matter if he's in a position of authority, isn't that right?
I can get you all of that later. It's all in the criminal code.
So in this case, did the age matter?
He was charged with if I could find it, that would help in my
Sexual
favor.
interference with somebody under 16.
Thank you. Sexual interference with a child under 16, so no, it wouldn't matter at that point.
When you said that the teenage girl encountered the suspect again, was he a driver on a different route when they met up again?
That's correct.
Was that a happenstance, or did he seek her out again?
That's part of our investigation, to say how they ran into each other and how they connected again. But what I can tell you is it happened on a couple different routes, and that's why there's a gap between the years.
Do you have any witnesses that you're currently working with?
That's part of our investigation. Sorry, I can't go into that.
Okay, any other questions?
Was the crime committed during daytime or during night?
During daytime hours.
And so far, you don't have anyone else that's come forward?
As victims for this, no, we only have one victim at this point.
Can you say why this girl was riding the bus? I mean, was she going to school regularly, or?
It's part of our investigation. If she was going to school, if she was going to work, or to visit a friend, it doesn't really matter why she was there.
So police currently don't know if there are other victims at this time, but they're asking anybody to come forward?
I'm asking for witnesses to come forward, or anyone who's a victim of sexual assault to come forward for any time.
So when they would meet up, like, did she just always stay on the bus when everyone else got off? Like, can you just kind of describe more?
What I can tell you, I don't want to get into details, is there were times when they were alone together on the bus. Absolutely.
And so that was, normally on a bus route, you keep picking people up. So was this always near the end of his shift, or?
It might have been the beginning, might have been the end, but there was times when they were alone on the bus, yes.
And you let the assault happen on a bus?
The sexual assault did happen on a bus, yes, that's
And you
correct.
also alleged that some of the assaults happened at his home?
One of the assaults happened at his home, yes.
So are there just 3 assaults, though, that you believe?
There are multiple assaults. It's just over a time period, so we condense that all into one over a time frame because there was multiples.